And now I'm imagining
Those
SpongeBob
advances
being
on the
lined up
Lakemen
on
from
a firing
behind,
squad
and
by
Bard
the
knows
Sponge
nothing of this
SS.
attack. We need
Well,
someone
alright.
to deliver Bard a
We're not
That
giving
way-
any context to that.
fierce and
That
dangerous.
escalated really fast, though.
Who stands
Really?
a
Oh,
chance of making
SpongeBob,
his
you
way
will be
through?
taken into hell.
They can't hit me if they can't see me.
Although,
and I'm faster than
I'm gonna
those
tell you right
ugly
now, the titty
goblins.
fish part is
You
what
have
was
completed
really
your
the best.
tasks, Bilbo, and I would rather not risk you to this terrible battle. But if you are determined to go, I will not stop you. Use both
Kendall's
your
like, well, I'd
ring
rather you didn't
and
die,
your
but
wits.
fuck it, I guess you can.
If we lose Bard, we lose the day. Good luck, Bilbo.
Oh fuck, it's an escort mission.
Well, free will's a bitch, I guess.
He's a fucking wizard. He can get past all this shit fine.
No, it's not an escort
Also,
mission, we're fine. It's just Bilbo.
Also, if anyone kills him, won't he like explode in a nuclear explosion and take everybody with him because he's a fucking wizard?
Whoever
That's
does
Harry Potter.
whoever does land the finishing blow will have a consequence for killing a wizard, as was shown in The Lord of the Rings with Saruman's death.
I didn't see that because Lord of the Rings movie didn't do that. I haven't read the book yet,
It
but I do
did.
know what happens.
Sauron exploded and took his entire realm with him.
Saruman.
Oh, sorry.
Those goblins have us pinned
Yeah,
down.
in the book, if
Use
you,
your ring and
it was
get us out of
explicitly
here,
stated
Bilbo.
if you killed a wizard, you would have a consequence immediately. And the consequence was when, after Wormtongue stabbed him, he just died because he got shot by an arrow immediately, and that was the consequence.
So it's like a karmic consequence
Karmic,
rather than...
yeah.
It's more like their ghost comes back and they haunt the fuck out of you until you die.
Ghost comes back and you're gonna be in trouble.
Is that why
hey
the-
now, my ghost came back.
Is that why the Balrog died? Because it killed Gandalf?
No, because the Balrog was on the same level as Gandalf, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that only happens on lower levels because wizards are smurfing.
Yes.
Yeah, Wormtongue had a
True
lower
warrior,
CR than
Bilbo.
Saruman, so he
We
felt
owe
his
you our
death saving throw
lives.
immediately.
It makes too much sense to make that joke.
Damn it.
So, are the wizards aware of themselves when they're in that form, or is it kind of like they're a different person?
No, they're aware of themselves. They put down that guise specifically so they don't freak people out. It's basically exactly like angels, except for our angels didn't really fucking care that we freaked out when we saw them.
Fear not, or whatever.
I'm just making sure because it's hard to believe someone so immensely powerful and dangerous would actually be such as kind as Gandalf. I'm trying to imagine this powerful eldritch thing that you can't really imagine.
Here's the thing, Ack. Free will's a bitch.
Yeah, that's... These angels had free will, unlike the Christian angels. Or, if I'm getting that wrong, TT can correct me, but I think that's right.
I mean, Christian angel doctrine is really complicated and contradictory. Like, there is the idea that angels do just follow the word of God, but then there's also, like, some prominent exceptions.
Yeah, like Lucifer.
So, it's
I mean-
it's more like they choose to obey the will of God.
Unless you
It's-
follow...
It's complicated.
Or they all do, and Lucifer is just programmed to do that because God needed a devil.
Which is an actual theory in some Christian theology.
Yeah,
Um,
and which is much darker than most.
Yeah.
That just means God's an asshole, though.
I mean, he's that in the normal Bible, too. That hasn't changed, it's the level of asshole. Now that we've lost all of our subscribers. All two of you.
Oh, who cares?
So, but yeah, the wizards themselves don't actually look like old men. That is just the form that they take in Middle-earth so they don't freak people out, or, you know, make people want to fuck them all day.
But it's kind of implied that if they die, they don't come back. They can't choose to come back.
No, they can't. They can be reborn, you know, like Gandalf was. And that's usually what happens to them, but sometimes the gods just decide, no, you're an asshole, you're not coming back. You know, like Saruman.
is why, if you're an asshole, you try not to die.
I wonder
Someone
what
stop
God
that
said to
catapult!
Saruman when he came back.
You're done fucked up now.
I can imagine going like this. Saruman's like, so I know what you're thinking, band. Go to your room.
Oh, he
No
just
Xbox for you, Saruman. The Xbox sucks. I prefer the PS4.
Tell that to Smog, the
This
roommates
house.
now.
oh my god.
So in this new pantheon of the Lord of the Rings Console Wars edition, Saruman and Smaug are roommates, right?
Yes.
Is Smaug on the same level as the angels, since technically a descendant of the angels?
No.
Descendant of the creation, not necessarily of the divine.
No one fucking knows what Smog is descended from.
I believe Kelly said that dragons were at one point they were part Aesir, was it?
No,
Like, they were
that's one theory that people have. There's no
Since the-
definitive answer because Tolkien never got around to writing that part.
Like, that theory comes from that they might be twisted angels. Well, not angels, but eagles, and the eagles are kind of divine adjacent.
I believe the book described most eagles as being kind of sinister, jagged.
No. Not eagles.
I believe,
Eagles are generally good guys in Tolkien, dude.
Yeah.
I thought The Hobbit, I do mean the book, by the way, described most eagle clans as wicked.
Nope. Nope, you are wrong there.
I don't know, I'm pretty
No.
I do know, you're incorrect.
Yeah, I gotta go with the two pseudo-experts here,
Okay, so I guess let's go back and read it.
Probably not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we've got several more Let's Plays of The Hobbit don't do yet, so...
Okay, I love that stupid orc was like reading his plans. He just walked up and hamstringed his ass.
I mean, if I remember from the Peter Jackson movies, the Battle of Five Armies is like a third of the story.
And like, if you go by the books, eagles didn't really join anyone's side. They decided they wanted to fight everyone and take the rewards too. So at the worst, they're neutral.
The Eagles?
Yeah,
That
from
wasn't
what
their
I
motivation in the books.
I remember it's like they wanted to join.
They just came in to stop the goblins.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I have no fucking clue where you got that from.
Where are you getting this shit from,
Where
you
are
guys?
both of you getting this shit about the Eagles being like...
Not evil, just that they wanted to take the treasure for themselves.
No.
What are you gonna do with it?
I don't fucking know. What is the dragon gonna do with it?
Sleep
Sit
on it?
on it.
Exactly.
Eagles aren't dragons.
Shit on it.
Bearded vultures are dragons, but not eagles.
I don't fucking
Oh,
know.
also it's our friend from Mirkwood. I guess I better save him.
Oh, goddamn it.
Do you remember our friend from Mirkwood? That guy that we talked to for about 5 minutes?
We're serious this time, Bilbo. We're not even wearing hot pants anymore.
We put on our big boy pants.
Hobbit. Thank you.
Oh yeah, random.
Khakis on now.
there, but it's full of goblins. I'll help.
He even looks like Jack Corwin.
Thank God we saved Corwin, everyone's favorite Tolkien character. Corwin.
There he goes.
I think that was from like the animated Hobbit movie.
Nope.
No, that wasn't in there either.
I don't think the Eagles. I don't know if it was the Eagles, but somebody said that the Eagles wanted the treasure or something like that.
I think Thorin might have shouted that.
Yeah. That's
And
what
then,
I'm thinking of.
Gandalf was like, "You're being a dumbass.
God damn
may
it,
have been
Thor.
They're
may
here
have
to
been
save
so-
your ass, you stupid piece of shit."
There may have been somebody jumping to conclusions in the book, and that's what I'm remembering.
Yeah, 'cause the Eagles don't really care. They were literally just there because there was a bunch of goblins there, and they're like, hey, yeah, let's go fuck up some goblins.
Fucking genocide.
And
leaders.
because, let's be honest, Gandalf probably told them, "Listen, some chuckle fucks are getting into a stupid fight. Can you help?" And they were like, "For you, Gandalf, I'll do anything. After that night we shared in Barcelona."
I will accept the canon that the Eagle King and Gandalf are lovers. I will accept that.
Alright. That went in a direction that I didn't expect.
I mean, it
I
makes more
should
sense
have.
when it makes more sense when the ship they try to make in the Hobbit movies. Hey, Galadriel, you're married. Galadriel, you're married though, is the thing.
She also doesn't care.
She is married. She keeps flirting with half of Middle Earth. Oh, I'm getting fucked by these goblins.
Fuck, what's Galadriel?
I'm really not supposed to be fighting these goblins head on like this, but at this point in time, I just decided to fuck it.
You know, sometimes Bilbo, it's canon, Bilbo occasionally gets a blood rage and he just has to murder a lot of people. That's exactly. You know, when I was writing the Hobbit movies, I realized I had to stay true to Tolkien's vision and make sure that Bilbo gets into a blood rage and just murders dozens of people at once.
That sounds like a D&D character that you rolled.
What are you doing
here, Every Hobbit D&D character.
Gandalf sent me. A large
Every
troop of
shitty one.
goblins flanks you from behind.
There you go.
So, we have a party on the way. It sounds like fun. Much thanks, Bilbo. Now, get back to Gandalf. This is no place
I sound like I have a stick up my ass.
He does. Thorin put it there.
Hoping it would turn into a toothpick, because he believes everyone has a gritty asshole like dwarves.
Yes. That headcanon is not going to leave, and I want it to.
That's why dwarves are the master builders. No one can shape materials.
I am somewhat tempted to make that Midgahheim canon.
Oh no!
Dwarves shove things up their ass to shape it.
Oh, they polish rocks by shoving them up their gritty asshole.
Hurry on, boys. We gotta build this castle by 6. Perk those bricks.
Snow White deserves the most beautiful crystalline tomb we can give her. Quick, boys! Get that crystal up your ass! For Snow White!
Drop trow!
Really stretch it. We want this to be magnificent.
Yourself? Your passage
This is
back
the
to
weirdest
Elven
thing.
King is blocked. Just
I
follow
can't
this path.
I can't believe I'm saying
Meet
this
up
though,
with
but
the
I can
elf,
see
Lyanna.
how we got here.
Stay with Lyanna. She will protect you. I have other business I must attend to.
This went pay.
Newt came in at the end of the evening just in time to sigh at us.
Fisting a dwarf would be a very dangerous proposition.
Basically, lose your hand. Like sticking into a wood chipper. Don't clench for the love of God.
You got one guy on Twitter saying a dwarf's asshole is smooth like leather.
No.
Everyone trying to correct him.
There's a guy with like just a hook for a hand. He's like, no.
I'm not sure where I heard that from. I was confident somewhere I read that most eagles in this world were just wicked, and I don't know where I
You
got
heard it from a liar, Ack. That's where you heard it from.
Or maybe we could just say I made a mistake.
Or you heard it from a liar. A filthy, horrible liar who we have to kill.
I think it's always possibly just misremembered something.
So
I was
why
pretty
is her
confident.
torso? Why is her waist narrower than her thighs?
Because she's an elf.
Those poor graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems like
elves developed hyper thick thighs to crack the skulls of their enemies. Well-known fact about elves.
They really did, because if you just stand there by Lyanna there, she can't die, she doesn't get damaged, and she kills all those orcs, and you can just farm courage points until you have full
you could
health.
punch an elf in the face and its spine would snap.
Apparently you can't.
You know, they developed these thick thighs to wrap around
She
tree
doesn't have
branches.
thick thighs. She just has a really fucking narrow
Well,
torso.
this is a stylized game, you know, they're trying to capture the fact that an elf's thigh is thicker than its midsection. You know, but, you know, keep the cartoony, super deformed style.
Just saying.
Sounds
It's
like this company would go on to make Leisure Suit Larry.
just saying, it's the adaptation they use to climb trees, just hugging and wrapping their thighs around them. God damn, that stick is not very good against gobos.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
it
I
is. You ripped them apart.
It takes you like 2 hits with Sting. Like 5 with that thing.
You know, I might be remembering the wargs, because wargs are literally just described as very wargs.
Yes, wargs are evil.
Yeah, they're just angry strangers is all they are.
They're capable of speech in the Middle-earth books.
Yeah.
Just not in the movies, because Jackson had a thing against talking animals.
Because he's a loser.
You see, Tolkien, when he was writing Middle-earth, he knew he was writing the most realistic story ever, so that's why I had to cut all the talking animals and things, because that's not Tolkien's vision.
I don't think he understood Tolkien. I don't think anybody did.
Yeah, no one has, and no one ever will.
I just kind of want Tolkien to rise up out of his grave and just kind of visit Jackson at night and go, "No, it wasn't, you bitch."
Right out of his grave, he goes, "As per my order as a writer," and he takes up a battle axe and just sets to work.
You know what? You better take it back right now. You wanna know why? You wanna know why you should take it back? Because Peter Jackson writes.
And that's a reference to the Draken LP, which people, whoever is watching, should watch.
I should be there.
The one video that's up right now.
Which I'm not
Where
in,
the
because
joke that you just made is not in.
It's not?
I don't
Well,
think so.
we had to scrap the first one because Kay wasn't there. Also, I think you lost.
No, I just think that the joke that Raven just made was in a later video that I just haven't put up.
It was with the writing monks, which I love those assholes.
Yeah, that's in a different one.
And I'm the one who made the joke about arming its skeletons and battle axes so they can get revenge on people who fucked over their writing after they die.
Oh god.
Don't have a seizure. Ah, jeez. He's getting fucking lucky.
The only one they don't arm is J.K. Rowling because
She doesn't need it.
She already retroactively fucked her own world, so...
Yeah.
Fucking question. Why is every time you swing this stick downward, you get a beam of fuck units out of it?
Because it's magic.
Is it like the tree? Is it like a piece of a...
There is no lore behind just stick that Bilbo can magic.
It's just bullshit game mechanics.
The stick was once an Ent's arm, but it was shoved up a dwarf's ass, and now it is super refined.
No, you misunderstand. It's too small to be an Ent's arm. It's its dick. It's not a one-night stand with the dwarves. After it got ripped and shaped off, it became a staff.
Okay, what does both of your internet histories...
I think I want to know.
What's the miracle of sound, honestly?
Do you think the dwarf's asshole makes it sound like a chainsaw when it's grinding something?
Yes.
Also, hi Bjorn.
Hi Bjorn. You have no explanation, but you're here, so I guess that's a point for the game.
And he's conscience.
If this game was made in the modern day, he'd be voiced by Travis
Perhaps I can help.
He just seems like a Travis character.
But thank you for offering.
So,
stare at each other?
is it me, or is he small for how he was described in the book?
Yeah. Nobody in this game, remember we went over this, nobody in this game knows how to scale things to a hobbit.
Yeah. They treat hobbits like full-grown people. I say not full-grown, full-size people.
Oh, geez, that one poor fucking orc.
Oh,
that one poor fucking goblin had the worst of it.
He just really had to rear back for that one goblin. I don't know why he had to be so dramatic about that one.
Because he absolutely, positively wanted to fuck that guy's entire universe.
That must have been Steve.
Okay, Steve, stay back, far away. You'll be safe here, okay? You'll have to deal with nothing. Okay, 15 minutes later. Oh, I wonder how the battle's going. Boom, boom, boom. Well.
Damn it, Steve.
Steve!
It's my arch rival, Stevicus.
Also, where did this piss lake come from?
I mean, Smog took a big piss.
I think it's trying to reflect the fire, but not doing a good job. or the smoke or something.
I know exactly what it's trying to do. It just looks like a lake of piss.
Well, anyone...
They've killed so many goblins that, you know, when you defecate and urinate yourself when you die, that's just a result.
Well, the good news is that those who drink Budweiser, no, not Budweiser, Bud Light has something else to drink now.
I would disagree with that joke, but honestly, that's kind of right on point for Buzzweiser.
Buzzweiser.
Buzzweiser, yes.
I can't remember if it was Budweiser or Bud Light. That's like super.
Okay. It was like the stupid anti-version of Budweiser is Buzz Dumber.
Also, Bjorn just raced through there like he had to shit really bad.
He's doing more than he ever did in the fucking movie.
Well, he did a big old dive bomb, but that's
He
fine.
did one thing. He's done 3 things so far in this.
Also, yes, in canon, Bjorn is like they're actually a race of people called Bjornlings. I don't know if they're named after him or if he named himself after them.
Or if he's just being really lazy.
Yeah, because his race of people can just change in shape into any certain animal. His shape is a bear.
I need a cover name. I will be Human. That's essentially what he did.
So we have to save his dumbass.
When did they have time to put in sliding stairs?
You know, in between, killing people.
Look, among all
Larry's been here.
Also,
the excuse.
Rube Goldberg murdering goblins. That is the rest of the the video right here.
I mean, I accept it, but still, that's nonsense.
Anyway, back to why there's sliding stairs. There's lots of goblins. There's lots of goblins and there's lots of... Some who are actually really talented crafters, but since they're goblins, they're pretty world, they decided...
Larry, the asshole Wraith, he slipped in when nobody was looking.
Yeah.
It's canon to the series.
Yeah, we established this videos ago.
Like, video 3, I think.
So what is going on here
what
is...
the fuck even?
Bjorn is being magicked to death by these 4 magic goblins. There was supposed to be one right there, but he just disappeared before he died because he just accepted his death, I guess.
Also, you asked what the fuck, Raven? Have you ever played the game Mousetrap?
Yes, I have. I know what a Rube Goldberg machine is.
This is the Hobbit.
It's a crazy contraption. Something reaction is gonna get into the mousetrap.
So yeah, this is Mousetrap. It's the Hobbit.
It's just going to get worse and worse from here. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, when I made that joke, I wasn't literal, but goddamn.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
That's how the 5 armies battle.
So
now, here's the part where Bilbo summons the graboids.
So this is why the orcs couldn't beat the fucking hobbits when they tried to raid, the Hobbit lands. Is they just set up an intricate series of traps that nobody could fucking understand, and they died.
They just ran into him and died.
Also, TT, you're thinking of the game Destroy Humans.
Okay, this is the last bit of ridiculousness. Yep.
This is some goddamn nonsense.
It's a crazy contraption, Mousetrap.
Oh good, I just happened to find the gunpowder. And there it goes. Guess where it's gonna land?
You're fucked, sir.
Bjorn is free, even though he was like almost dead, and he's gonna fuck up Bjorn Bolt's day.
Who got a bigger part?
Bilbo sleep through most of this?
He got knocked the fuck out, yeah, but he's about to get knocked out in the game.
Huzzah! I have done things, Mac.
That scene was just too graphic to show, kid.
I don't know why. He would have just exploded into gems. We've established this is what happens to goblins in this
the
world.
Goblin King. The goblins were dismayed, but not defeated. Suddenly, Bilbo saw the eagles. But then a stone struck his head.
The face,
and he
God
saw
damn
no
it.
more.
I
A
mean,
battle raged around
if you want to look
a
up
battle
Bilbo
of
Baggins'
5
Auntie
armies.
face, sure.
The goblins
No.
were driven from the lonely mountains. But Thorin, king under the mountain, lay dying.
Oh,
He
I'm
asked
so
Bilbo
sorry.
to
Stuck
forgive
too
him.
many
stones up my ass,
In his
Bilbo.
heart, he wished he had been
They've
more
ruptured
like
my
Thorin,
colon. I'm bleeding out.
valuing food,
I tried
cheer,
to
above
shape the
all.
Holy Grail.
More
of
people
Arkansas.
valued
Prophecies
good food,
had come
comfort,
true.
and
The dragon was gone.
intact
and gold
asshole
flowed
like
down
you.
from the mountain
It would be
to
a
rebuild
pharaoh
Britain.
world.
Men,
Arkansas
elves,
wrecked
and
my
dwarves
ass,
had a
Bilbo.
new chance
It
to
is
unite
truly
against
the
future
greatest of all
dangers.
stones.
Bilbo bade farewell to his friends.
Really
took only two
really
small
hate where
chests
this
of
went.
gold, and began
This
his
whole
journey.
It's canon
He
now.
had
This
many
was
hardships
Tolkien's
and
real
adventures
intention.
before he
This
got
whole
back.
game was
But
ass.
that's
Literally.
another story.
They're
You saw too many men in World War One whose asses were ruptured by putting stones in them.
TT, go sodomize yourself already.
no, don't.
Please. Please.
Hey, Ack, here's the thing about jokes. Their jokes is the thing.
I know.
So, yeah,
And
that
and
was
saying,
the Hobbit.
And saying, this is your fetish, you're a bad person, is not really a funny joke.
I never said you were a bad person.
You implied it, kind of.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You may not have intended it, but it came out that way.
Oh,
I
come
mean, I don't even, like, give a shit. It's just, like, it's just not a funny joke is the thing.
I'm trying.
Yeah, but which is why I'm telling you, it's not working, though. The strategy you're doing is bad.
Yeah.
Get a different one. Or else the Arkenstone's going up your hole, buddy.
Okay, you see, we're right back around making our joke.
Yeah, that's how jokes work.
I tried to joke along.
So anyway,
Yeah, just trying too hard.
anyway,
the
that was the
point
Hobbits. And I don't think any of these people deserve these credits, but I'm gonna let them go.
Yeah.
They tried.
just-
They tried harder than Peter Jackson did.
Oof.
They cared more than Peter Jackson did.
They did. Which is terrible.
Well, you know, he made the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, he sure did.
If he didn't want this to happen, shouldn't have made them Hobbit movies. I know that no one saw The Lovely Bones, but you don't need to cash that bad, Peter.
Go lay down.
The hell's Lovely Bones?
Go lay down.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
It's the movie that he made after The Lord of the Rings and nobody watched it. And that's
It's
why
a-
he agreed to come back to direct The Hobbit.
Peter Jackson made a movie about a little girl who's killed by a pedophile, and he made it a special effects extravaganza, and it turns out people didn't want to see that story in the same numbers as Lord of the Rings, so it didn't do particularly well.
Okay. How the fuck do you make a story about a pedophile, a special effects extravaganza?
Because the girl who gets murdered, her ghost continues on and is trying to solve her own murder mystery.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of like special effects sequences of her in the afterlife and doing ghost shit. And like, you know, it turns out no one wants to pay Lord of the Rings money to see that. Like, no one's gonna be like, I want to see that 10 times like I saw Fellowship.
All you
No one's
have
buying
to
the
do...
Lovely Bones toys. No one's buying the 4-disc special edition of the movie about the girl who done got killed by a pedophile. like it just did not make Lovely Bones. It just did not make Lord of the Rings funny. So then Jackson was like, "All right, I'll do the Hobbits."
You didn't even want to. You just
No, I
got,
didn't.
You just kind of dragged into it.
That's why it was filled with all those unnecessary monsters. Because he had to have fun somehow, apparently.
Fair enough, but like you could have tried, Peter. You could have tried.
Could've, but he didn't.
Oh, he might still.
Imagine if he got to stay a part of it.
I really wish we'd just gone with Del Toro. That would have been a Hobbit I would have enjoyed.
The problem the studio had was that Guillermo del Toro wasn't making Lord of the Rings 2, The Search for More Money. He was making The Hobbit. And they wanted Lord of the Rings 2, The Search for More Money. Which is what they eventually strong-armed Jackson into making for them. And you know what? It got them more money. So the lesson they learned was that this worked perfectly and everyone was happy.
Well, except for people who knew better. There's plenty of people I know who went to go see The Hobbit. And I'm like, you didn't read the book, did you?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, they didn't. Those were the same people that went to the Lord of the Rings and turned their brain off and didn't watch it for the story. They watched it for the York fights.
To be fair, the fights were amazing, but yeah.
Or, you know, people who actually enjoyed some movies that should have never been made.
Like, even if you're into action, you can't enjoy the Transformers movies because you can't fucking see any of the action.
And also because they keep cutting away from the action to racist jokes.
Okay, everybody, that was The Hobbit. I hope you
kind
of enjoyed
Megan
it.
Fox's asshole. Yeah, we enjoyed the hell out of it.
I mean, it was no Final Fantasy IX.
Jesus Christ.
But in the end, we learned something. Bilbo Baggins should never have fisted Thorin because he would have lost a hand. That was Tolkien's true intention all along.
Is that what we're gonna take away from this one?
Yep, that's what we learned about The Hobbit.
Oh, fantastic.
This was certainly a gem that could have stayed up the dwarf's ass a little longer. It needed more polish.
Holy shit, Raven. Oh, that was
my official review of this game.
That was a pretty good one right there.
I mean, isn't that how clams make their pearls?
They collect sediment. Which is kind of
and they're assholes, right?
Yeah. They don't take one thing
They
and
grind
polish
it down, and they're like, yeah.
No, they collect particles and then they turn it into a hardened substance over time.
Good night, everybody.